All right, let's get into it. If you've ever found yourself staring at Pokemon card prices, feeling that mix of hype, FOMO, and just utter chaos, then you're in exactly the right place. In this explainer, we're going to break down the wild world of Pokenomics and give you a real framework so you never, ever get faked out again. So let's start with that feeling. You know the one? That sense that the market is just this giant whirlwind of panic buying, crazy price spikes, and influencers yelling about the next big thing. It can feel confusing, maybe even like the game is rigged against you. And you know what? You're not wrong to feel that way. I mean, check out this quote from a Reddit discussion. It absolutely nails it. The reason the market feels so emotional is because it's literally designed that way. That fear of missing out, the fear of a crash, those feelings get amplified by algorithms to keep you clicking, watching, and, of course, buying. Information takes a backseat to emotion. And it's not just random. As the folks at Collectors MD put it, a lot of this hype isn't magic. It's manufactured. It's a machine with a purpose. But here's the good news. Once you can see the machine, once you see how it works, you're not its puppet anymore. You get to take back control. So that's the big question, right? If the game is built on hype and emotion, how on earth do you play to win? Well, the secret isn't trying to outsmart the hype machine. It's about realizing you're playing a completely different game altogether. And this is where we need to make a huge mental shift. To win, we have to totally reframe what a Pokemon card even is. It's not a stock, and it's not just a piece of cardboard. It's something new. There's a great term for this, coalescing. It's this perfect hybrid of collecting and investing. It's acknowledging that, yeah, we're in this for two reasons: the pure joy of it, and let's be honest, the potential financial return. It's where your passion project meets your portfolio. Understanding that is step one. Which leads us to maybe the single most important idea in this whole explainer, the meaning asset. Think about it. A stock's value is tied to a company's profit, but a Pokemon card's value, it's a formula of personal meaning multiplied by its scarcity. Its foundation isn't spreadsheets, it's culture, nostalgia, and your own identity. Now, this idea splits the market into two very different types of people. On one side, you've got the hype holders, you can call them scalpers. They're all about short-term profit. They buy fast, panic sell even faster, and they create all that crazy volatility. But on the other side, you have the meaning holders, the true collectors. Their motivation is passion, they buy with intention, and they actually create stability. They're not thinking about next week, they're thinking about the next generation. So you might be wondering, if this market is based on something as fuzzy as meaning, why is it so incredibly resilient? Why doesn't it just pop and disappear like other speculative bubbles? Well, the answer is baked right into its structure. The key thing to understand is that this market is anti-fragile. That's a fancy way of saying that shocks and downturns actually make it stronger. When prices crash, all the hype holders flee. But the meaning holders, they don't sell. Why would they? The card still means the exact same thing to them. Plus, the market has this incredible built-in engine for creating new meaning holders. It's a cycle that just keeps on going. A generation falls in love with Pokemon as kids, they grow up, get jobs, get some real money, and then they dive back into the hobby chasing that powerful feeling of nostalgia. This creates a permanent, repeating wave of new demand. And all of this leads to what we can call the meaning buffer effect. Here's how it works. The market price might drop, but the personal meaning you attach to your cards, that stays constant, which means you don't feel that urge to panic sell. That collective decision not to sell acts like a giant shock absorber for the market, preventing a total collapse and helping it stabilize. Okay, so we've got the theory down. That's great. But now, let's get practical. How do you actually put all this into action? Well, here is your 4-step anti-hype toolkit for becoming a much smarter meaning holder. First things first, you have to identify your lane. You can't collect everything. That's a recipe for burnout and bad decisions. So pick a focus that you genuinely, truly love, not just what's hot on YouTube this week. Maybe it's an old era like WotC cards, a specific artist like Arita, or a fun niche like error cards. When you specialize, you kill the FOMO and you seriously deepen your enjoyment. Step 2 is the ultimate gut check. This is your personal coherence test. Before you buy any card, ask yourself this one simple question. If the answer is yes, congratulations, you found a true meaning asset for your collection. But if the answer is no, well then you're just speculating, and you've got to be honest with yourself about that risk. Number 3, build yourself an anti-hype decision tree to fight those impulse buys. We all get them. You see a card, you feel the urge. Just pause. Give it 24 hours. And ask yourself, am I chasing the card or am I just chasing the feeling of the hype? Does it actually fit in my lane? Is this thing just hot right now? This little process will save you from so many regrets.
And finally, number 4, you have to master the art of patience, slow upgrading. I love this quote. Don't chase the wave, study the tide. Stop chasing the short-term, choppy waves of hype. Instead, study the long-term tides of the market. Understand the generational cycles. Upgrade your collection slowly, deliberately. In this hobby, patience is your superpower. It almost always wins.
So, let's bring it all together. What does all of this add up to? When you look at this meaning-driven economy, what's the real, honest-to-goodness takeaway? It's actually pretty simple. The system is built to correct itself. Hype is always temporary. The people who are just chasing hype, they will eventually get washed out in a downturn. But the meaning holders, we're still here. We absorb the dips, we provide a stable floor, and in the long run, the culture is what wins. So when you really think about it, Pokemon isn't some fragile bubble just waiting to pop. It's not a ghost loop. It's a living, breathing, meaning ecosystem. And the thing that makes it so strong isn't some complex financial instrument. It's the genuine personal passion of millions of people. That passion is what creates the structural resilience. And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating thought to end on. We are watching in real time a market that runs on passion, identity, and memory. So what if this is bigger than just Pokemon? What if we're getting an early glimpse of the future? A future where culture as capital is the next big thing? What do you think?